fit my body but not my state of mind. I'm never going to wear jeans again. Denim has always been the fabric of youthful rebellion, but I'm 41 now. I'm not going to be another mutton dressed as lamb. I'm happy with my wardrobe of second-hand clothes. Here I go again. Why do we care so much about fashion? I've often wondered if we inherit a fashion gene. Look at me as a kid. Is my mum to blame for me wearing those big pants? I love dressing up, but for years I've only worn second-hand. Why? For starters, I don't want to see anyone wearing the same clothes as me, and I think designer labels are a rip-off. Even cutting-edge fashion has been hijacked by global super labels. Money has co-opted cool. All this might sound strange, because I was in the fashion industry for 20 years, running my label Red or Dead. I was trying to make clothes which were designer but at high street prices. I sold Red or Dead 6 years ago, and now I can say what I think. Parts of the fashion industry stink, and I'm getting the air freshener out. There's no better place to see how fashion works than London Fashion Week. This is the industry at work, warts and all. A designer catwalk show in an underground car park. This industry rarely serves you and me. The majority of the people here, the buyers, designers, journalists, are all working in an ivory tower. They are part of the fashion conspiracy, spinning the hype. And this is the place where it all starts. A little incentive to like the show. Ooh, a miniature brandy, some Ponzi perfume, a silk scarf, a cuddly toy. The designer needs to get the show talked about in the press. Everyone here will tell you, this is what you should be wearing, darling. Oh yes, this is really how I like to see women dressed. Purple industrial climbing harnesses, blue Nike footy socks, hair like she hasn't seen hot water for a year and then been dragged through a hedge backwards, 200 foot of climbing rope dyed pink, purple poncho cocoons teamed with the footy socks again, and finally, the pièce de résistance, a knitted outfit from Doctor Who. According to the press release, these clothes are about the safety and security that clothes provide you on a psychological level. Clothes aspiring to be art. What a load of rubbish. The designer Hamish Morrow is hailed as the next big thing, the new John Galliano. This show will have been a real struggle. He will have financed this himself. Every year designers face bankruptcy. Some blame the government or the industry for not financing them. But why don't they ask themselves, who actually is going to wear these clothes? What do you want to achieve out of your business?
I want to turn this into a business. It's not a business yet. I want to turn it into a business.
And how are you going to do that?
I am working on that. I don't know exactly just yet.
Why in a car park?
Wow, it's very, very simple. We needed to show within the 3 mile radius of South Kensington. This is not an industrial area. You don't get great empty spaces. If you do, they've been used by everyone before you. It's virtually impossible. It was free.
Free. There you go. A collection that will be worn by hardly anyone. All that work, and the designer still goes home broke. Fashion students come to these shows full of dreams and ideas about becoming the next Alexander McQueen. But the reality is months and months of lonely slog, working for virtually nothing. Why would anyone want to do that? The designer industry is ill. The jobs it creates are only for a few. Most stylists and designers work for a pittance, and yet loads of young people want to work in the fashion industry. Fashion has a strange hold on people. It's a sickness. They have been infected by the designer fashion disease. They live and breathe fashion, and they are drawn to Fashion Week like moths to a flame. I'm going off schedule. Off-schedule shows are by designers who are not classed as good enough to be part of London Fashion Week, or those that choose to remain coolly underground. And so they put their own shows on in hard-to-find venues, far away from the main event. Is this where the show is? Where is it? Where is it? No, where is it? Where is it?
Which show do you want?
The fashion
I'm not
show.
having the big breakfast in this show, sorry.
It took ages for my label to be accepted as part of London Fashion Week. The powers that be said the clothes I made were too affordable to be classed as designer. Fashion was about elitism, but it's time to leave that far behind. This label has been turned down for the past 2 years and is now thinking of leaving London for New York. And that's a shame because these clothes are wearable. They're interesting without being weird. I really like these clothes. They're wearable and affordable. But the concept of clothes people can actually go out and buy is nearly always overlooked by fashion media as they compete for attention on the newsstands. This is what they bill as the show of the week. Julie McDonald works for French couture house Givenchy, following in the footsteps of John Galliano and Alexander McQueen. But unlike the other British designers who have made it to the big time and left London far behind, Julian has stayed, for this week anyway. I'm not good enough to sit in the B-list section, but neither does it seem are the buyers, who after all are the ones who supposedly get these clothes into the stores and keep labels in business, and that's rather odd. But B-list celebrities mean front page and a brisk ego massage for the designer.
I hope you enjoy it.
I love fashion, it's great. And a very nice PR lady gave me a seat opposite Julia McDonald's mum and dad.
My clothes are worn by everybody, a lot of different celebrities, and I'm afraid to say very wealthy ladies. You know, they're not, you know, box standard cheap clothes. You know, they're very full on, they're very precious, they're full of stones. Some things even have diamonds. Tonight is, you know, the creme de la creme. It's the big thing. And you know, I just like to give a piece of myself for everybody.
I started to miss the kids and wondered what was for tea. This is a flesh fest. Skin seems the obsession, whether it's human or dead animal. It seems to me a vision of how the Dirty Mac Brigade might like to see their women. Laced up leather bodices, boobs on view, fringed pelmet skirts, and it's being sold to us as high-class glamour. The press will be full of ambitious celebs wearing these skimpy little numbers, and unfortunately, it works. It gets them on the front page, and it gets the designers written about. Do you have to put some of your own money in that you earn from Givenchy to make the show work?
Well, yes, I mean, I fund my own business myself, and as I say, it's an investment in the future. Because, you know, one day, I'd love to have, you know, a shop on Bond Street and have a licensee range of products. It takes a long time, but I'm on the way to it.
God help us, but at least his mum and dad are pleased. I was depressed. This is what gives fashion a bad name. But what's wrong with creating a real business based on customer demand and products that people want to buy and can afford? And you won't read one word of criticism from the press. So why do critics often not criticise?
There's a lot of pressure from people to say nice things about people who advertise in your magazines.
And this is why fashion doesn't fit people like you and me. The advertisers, the designers, and the style magazines are all in bed together. This is a photo shoot for cutting-edge style magazine Dazed and Confused. They see themselves as a unique setup, claiming to draw together the most talented people in the industry, and everyone is part of the creative process.
I'm styling a shoot for Dazed and Confused magazine, and it's a menswear preview. Doing a page per designer, and this one moment is Ruff Simmons. who's a really cool Belgian designer, and this one is like a homeless look. It's a beanbag. I don't really want to say it's like a homeless look because it's a bit, you know, more like kids who live on the street. So they don't really sleep on the street, but the club kids and people who go to raves, and I always get inspired from those kids because you know they look mental, and you know I was one of them. It looks like a beanbag. It's actually cut as a cape with a hoodie. So it's like all sewn properly, and it's got a label as well. I can show it to you later. It's really good.
And that bin bag would set you back at least 200 quid, when you could get 50 bin liners for £1.99 at Lidl, or 50 drawstring ones for £2.49 at Morrison's. Cutting-edge British style magazines can only survive by signing a pact with the devil, the advertisers. They blur the line between editorial and advertising so much that the true function of the magazine has little to do with the readers. It's the way big business has co-opted cool to sell you their products. The cool receptionist surrounded by freebie bottles of designer water says it all.
How much do you earn?
Can't say that.
Go on.
No, I can't tell you that.
20,000, 25,
No.
higher, lower?
Dazed and Confused is an independent magazine, so we work here because we want to work here. We don't get paid a fortune, and we're allowed to have freelance careers so that we can, you know, sort of supplement, you know, whatever.
So could you end up styling one of the adverts for the advertisers?
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
another
I've
way
done
of
a campaign before, so.
Yeah. Does that give you a different relationship with advertisers? If somebody advertises with you, are you kind of duty bound to talk about their clothes or use their clothes in a shoot?
I think that people that work in the advertising department are quite kind of creative themselves, and I think that they would never make us use something that we wouldn't want to use, and they wouldn't run an advert of a designer that wouldn't suit the magazine. Do you know what I mean?
Then Gucci, Dior and what was that? Dries Van Noten. These are Burberry, and we've got Dolce & Gabbana. This is Miu Miu. We still have to shoot Louis Vuitton.
Everyone working on these fashion shoots works for virtually nothing. Ultimately, they are making a portfolio. The hope is that their work will inspire an advertiser to employ them, to do a campaign with the same look and give them real money. It's an endless cycle between the magazine and the advertisers. It's nothing to do with us, the consumer. These magazines are under pressure to feature the clothes of their advertisers, the major fashion super labels. So you get cool magazines aimed at young people, promoting big business designer labels at ridiculously expensive prices.
The things that he's wearing is actually quite normal, but the way we put it looks very mad. There's lots of textures, covered his face with hair. He looked like a monster. It was great.
Many people in fashion see their work as art, but there's no rebellion left in cool. Everything has become style. The big fashion companies have bought rebellion, persuading the coolest to work with them on marketing their global brands. And talking of big designer brands, we're going to go to the Armani party. Designer fashion is the emperor's new clothes. Spending 400 quid on a jacket that costs a fraction of that to make just shows that you've got more money than sense, and you just like funding big marketing campaigns and ostentatious flagship stores. And I've got a few questions for Emperor Armani. Yeah, we're on the guest list.
Okay,
Should be one. Yeah.
Hold on, we've got no motion cameras coming in here, guys.
Yeah, it's
Thank
Wayne
you.
Hemingway. Can they not come in then? No. Can I speak to the PR about it though?
I'll show you who she is.
Well, you didn't get in, and I did. We haven't missed anything. It was blooming boring. But they wouldn't let me interview the Emperor himself. I wanted to talk to him about this quote. He said in The Independent, a few weeks ago after his last collection. "I'll tell you something," he declared. "Luxury disgusts me. I want to pay homage to the workers, to the dignity of the workers with their simplicity and straightforwardness." What a load of poppycock. Typical designer getting onto a theme and deciding, right, I've seen some workers' clothes, I'll take my inspiration from them. Absolute rubbish. I'm going to come back down Bond Street in a year's time and I want to see his clothes at 25% of the cost that they are now. Then I'll believe his little speech here.